Okay, we're back. It's the next day. It's a little brighter. You can see what I'm doing. I've already gone ahead and glued up some of the casing, installed some on the doors already. I'm just gonna glue up this one and I'll give you a quick tour of what I have done. This method has been working pretty good, surprisingly. I wasn't quite sure, I haven't done it before. I've just put the screws in the top of the headers, or the bottom if it's the window casing, so you don't see them. And then really that's just there until the glue sets and bonds. Because there's a lot more holding power in the glue than the screw. I have still been installing these as I glue them up because there might be some movement in that joint while I move it. So we'll take this one and install it where it needs to go. Okay. As you could probably already tell, there's some of the door casing up here. I'll give you a quick tour of what I have done. I just did that, obviously. These two doors are done. Closet, entryway door. I still have to do all the windows, those two patio doors. And then if we walk into the bedroom, I have these two closets done. The door. I still have to do the window. So that's where I'm at. It's turned out pretty good. As you can tell with that gluing method, the joints are nice and tight. So I did use the 18 gauge to go into the jamb, and I'll wait till my joints dry, and then I'll go back with a 16 gauge and go through the outside of the casing into the stud. I just want that heavier gauge because it's going through the drywall. I want to make sure it holds like I explained the other day. It's natural wood which has a tendency to warp and move a little bit, so you just want that extra holding power where it's necessary. So I will go around and use the 16 gauge on the outside of that casing to go through that 3/4 inch material, 1/2 inch drywall, and into the stud. Okay, let's install that window casing. You can see I have it all here. I left it overnight to dry. It looks like the joints have dried good and they've held in place and everything, so that's good. There go all the screws that I laid on the ground. This part is a little tricky with one person when it's so big, but because I trust that glue joint enough, I'll be able to support it with one hand and not be afraid of it coming apart. That's usually how I start the piece, is I put 2 and then I can move it maybe a 1/16 if I need to do some micro adjustments. So I check my reveal to make sure I'm happy with it. Definitely not. It is a little askew, but we'll be able to correct it like that. and that's in. Looks pretty good. Everything stayed tight and closed. The reveal is good. All the way around. Okay, now that that's done, we'll jump over to the kitchen and do those two above the countertops. I've actually done all the other ones, as well as all the doors, except for the inside of the doors. I didn't calculate the closets when I did my rough estimate, so I wasn't sure what was happening with those yet. So we do have to do the back side of the bathroom, the back side of the utility room, and the back side of the closet still. But let's jump over into the kitchen and do those windows. Such a far walk. Okay, the kitchen casing is done, as well as all the other casing actually. Well, most of it except for the back side of those doors that I mentioned. Everything turned out really well. I'll go back around and fill those nail holes once I've used that 16 gauge nailer to fasten everything securely. And then as for the baseboard, we'll probably hold off on that until I figure out the condensation issue in case I have to get into that corner like I showed you in the last video. Next video, I'm not quite sure. I'll probably be here. I'll probably be installing some floating shelves above the stove, as well as possibly a sliding door for that closet, which will be maple plywood, I believe, but I'll confirm on that. That will be in the next video, hopefully. That does it for this one, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.